Uh, 12 more cards revealed. Starting with Hearth Stonebrew, 6 mana, 5/5. Battle cry, place your hand with an iconic one from Hearthstone's past once per game. Obviously, we have no idea what the hand is going to be. The card comes out tomorrow. They haven't revealed what they will be yet, but the card's never going to be playable in Wild unless it's something crazy. It's definitely just not going to be a good card. I don't even need to know what it's going to be. But we received gift cards. What they are is you discover 3 cards and then you get a temporary copy of iconic quote unquote Hearthstone cards. I say quote unquote because some of these choices are very weird. And started off, we have Rexar's Gift. 1 mana, of course. Discover a temporary quick shot, deadly shot, or explosive shot. The reason I said quote unquote iconic is explosive shot is one of the worst cards in Hearthstone's history. It's a horrible card. So it costs 1 more mana to play it on the same turn. This is the worst gift by far. Quick Shot's a bad card. Deadly Shot is a bad card, and Explosive Shot is a horrible card. So you never want to run this in any deck at all. Like it's 1 mana, deal 3 damage because you're never drawing a card. 4 mana, destroy a random enemy minion. It's worse than Assassinate. 6 mana, deal 5 damage to a minion and 2 to adjacent minions. That's worse than like everything. There's so many cards that it's worse than. This is the worst gift card by far. It's a completely unplayable card. Malfurion's Gift. 1 mana. Discover temporary Feral Rage, Wild Growth, or Swipe. It's 2 mana Wild Growth and 3 mana Swipe. So this is a very good card. It probably will see play, genuinely. And of course you have Feral Rage. It's fine. You don't care that much, but this definitely will see play as a card. Jaina's Gift. Frostbolt, Arcane Intellect, or Fireball. Those are all 3 pretty powerful cards. You'll probably play this in Quest Mage, realistically speaking. Probably take Arcane Intellect all the time. Quest Mage has some pretty not great draw, so having a trigger for your quest and draw at the same time is pretty decent. This card probably sees some play. This one is interesting. You get Fel Barrage, Chaos Strike, or Chaos Nova. Fel Barrage is really strong. 2 mana, deal 4. I don't think you'll ever play this card, but it does make Jace better because you have, third and fourth copies of Fel Barrage for Wild. I don't think the card sees any play, but it is at least a lot more interesting. Uther's Gift. Equality, Consecration, or Blessing of Kings. This one is interesting. Getting Equality, or Consecration just because is pretty cool. Blessing Kings, obviously, you're never picking that unless, you desperately need the 5 mana +4/+4. This is the issue with them being temporary, is that you can't hold them in your hand, so you have to play them the same turn. So the most expensive option is always bad. I don't think this card sees that much play. Maybe in, Reno, having second Equality and second Consecration is pretty decent, but that's maybe it. Power Word Shield, uh, Shadow Word Pain, and 9 mana Mind Control. This might make the cut in Inner Fire Priest because you're playing what's it called? You're playing Radiant Elemental anyway, so it costs 0, and that makes the shield cost 0. So it might make the cut. It's not an amazing card otherwise, but it's fine. Valera's Gift. Backstab, Deadly Poison, Fan of Knives. It's going to be 2 mana Fan of Knives, of course. This is an interesting card. It's probably still not making the cut anywhere, but it's definitely not the worst one. These are 3 good options. It's just what rogue deck ever runs this is kind of the thing. It also, this one really runs into the issue that it's temporary, so you can't just, prepare it. So it feels really bad. Thrall's Gift, Lightning Bolt, Hex, or Bloodlust. This one's probably going to see play with Lightning Bolt in Odd Shaman. Of course, if you watched the last video or if you're paying attention to the changes, Odd Shaman is coming back. So getting extra Lightning Bolts is pretty decent, I'm not going to lie. And then, you can push with Bloodlust later. Bloodlust is probably the best of the quote-unquote expensive options from these cards. So, there is that. Gul'dan's Gift. Mortal Coil, Siphon Soul, and Twisting Nether. So, this one's not bad by any means. Getting Mortal Coil is pretty good for like Arena Lock, but Arena Lock hasn't been playable in years. Yeah, 2 mana Wild Growth, 9 mana. My control says right there. I don't think the sees very much play at all, but it's definitely not one of the worst ones. This one's good. Execute, Shield Block, or Brawl. This one's very good. I don't know what you're running it in Wild. Currently, Even Warrior. Of course, you can play like regular Odin, but it's a little worse. This still is a very flexible card. It might see play. I'm not too sure, but it's definitely good like options. Execute, Shoot, Block, and Brawl are all very good options. It's just again, a lot of these cards just don't like the 1 mana tax feels really bad, especially the fact they are temporary. Like if they weren't temporary, most of these cards would be so much better than they are. And then you have Arthas Gift, Dark Transformation, Howling Blast, or Death Strike. It's a fine card. It probably doesn't make the cut in Wild because, well, this 1 mana, the only playable Death Knight deck in Wild is Even. So it definitely isn't playable, but I don't know. Overall, most of these cards are mediocre at best. This one's probably the best one. This one's probably the second best. But yeah, and then Rexar's Gift is by far the worst. Like these are 3 actually bad cards. Like a lot of these have like decent cards in them, right? Wild Growth, Swipe, Fell Barrage, AI, Equality, Consecration, Power Word, Shield, Backstab, Fan of Knives. Those are decent cards in a pinch. Lightning Bolt, Bloodlust, Mortal Coil, Shield Block, and then like all of these are fine, but again, you just can't really play it anywhere. This Quick Shot is a terrible card. It's 2 mana, deal 3 damage. You're never drawing a card with it, so it's a bad card. Deadly Shot is worse than Execute. It's also worse than Siphon Soul. Siphon Soul is 4 mana, so it's just worse. And then Explosive Shot is just a terrible card. I don't know. I don't really know what Blizzard's thinking. I get that it's supposed to be 4 standard, but I don't even think these cards make the cut in very many standard decks. Maybe this one's good in like an aggro shaman, I guess. I don't really know. These cards are mediocre. Yeah. If you enjoy, like, comment, subscribe, yada yada. I'm gonna keep posting more for this reveal cycle. It's my favorite thing to do about Hearthstone is post about the reveal cycle, so sorry about not doing much for the last like 2.5 months. Peace.